Hello folks, this is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball, the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on March 25th, 2023. If you'd like to support my game, Decoding the Powerball, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. Thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. Okay, with this video, I invite you to grab some paper and play along. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is where I try to eliminate numbers and try to get it down to the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so you can see that I have 5 colors on my game card. They are red, orange, green, blue, and purple. And these represent the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage and find out what those 5 white numbers were. And they were the 27, 28, 37, 50, and 57. The red ball was 5, but right now I'm only concerned about these 5 white ball numbers. Okay, so you can see I put those at the top of my list. Again, it was the 27, 28, 37, 50, and 57. And now I'm going to put some colors to it like I did here in the past. Okay, so you can see with this game card, this is for March 22nd. So I need to update it to the 25th. But before I do, I need these colors for these numbers here. Okay, so the 27 was red. The 28 was green, the 37 was red, the 50 was red, and the 57 was purple. Okay, so again, the 27, 37, and 50 were all red. The 28 was green, and the 57 was purple. Okay, so 3 out of the 5 colors came up. And now I'm going to make this 227 color code drawings I kept track of so far. And now a 3 color combination has now come up 109 times. Okay, so you can see that a 3 color combination comes up the most. Okay, so what that means is that 2 colors are not coming up the most. Okay, so the strategy is try to correctly guess what color group will not be coming up and eliminate those numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to update my game card here. So I get rid of all those colors and start from scratch. Okay, so my color code is right here. Here's the red numbers, orange, green, blue, and whatever's left over is purple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these 15 numbers that are in the red area over to the game card as red numbers. Okay, so starting with the 27, 28, 37, 50, and 57. The next line down is the 1. The 27's already taken, so the 32, the 47, and 67. The next line down is the 14, the 20, 30, 54, and 69. So again, I'm going to make these red numbers. And now I'm going to count how many I have on my game card. So over here I got 5, 2 are 7, 3 are 10, and 4 are 14. So up here I'm going to put down 14. Okay, and the reason why there's 14 is because the 27 repeated here within the last 3 drawings. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the orange area where I'm going to transfer these 20 numbers over as orange numbers. Okay, so starting with the 16, the 18, the 33, the 37 is already taken, the 50 is already taken, so the 3, the 10, 24, 46, and 63. The next line down is the 11, the 20 is already taken, the 33 is already taken, so the 43, the 58. Okay, and the next line down is the 26, the 27 is already taken, the 43 is taken, so the 61 and the 69 is taken. So again, I got to make these orange. And I count real quick how many I got. I got 4 and 4 are 8, 2 are 10, and 3 are 13. So I'll leave that alone at 13. Okay, so then I move on to the green area. Okay, But I already did the game card, so I'm just gonna copy and paste just to speed things up a little bit. Okay, so you can see that there was 14 red numbers, 13 orange, turned out to be 15 green, 15 blue, and 12 purple numbers. Okay, so why is this important to do this like this? Okay, uh, the way that I set up my color code like this through trial and error, I found out that it gives me double digit numbers per color, and it's really consistent like this. Okay, so when you have consistency in something like the lottery that's so chaotic, when you have something that's consistent, it it can become predictable. Okay, so what I'm gonna try to do here is, again, I'm gonna try to correctly guess what color group will not be coming up. Okay, so all 5 colors do come up. It's come up 17 times out of 227 drawings. So it comes up, but it's very rare. Okay, so my guess is that no green numbers are going to come up. And the reason why is because a green number has come up in the last 5 drawings. And when it goes on a streak like that, usually it doesn't go 6 for some reason. Okay, so you can see there's no green numbers here. So I'm going to predict that that's what's going to happen. I don't think any green numbers are going to come up. So I'm going to block these numbers off of my game card. And hopefully none of these green numbers come up because I just got rid of them. Okay, so when I block out numbers like this means I'm not even going to consider these numbers when I'm picking what I think will be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so if I'm correct, and the big word here is if I'm correct and none of these green numbers come up, then I just reduce the odds for myself, just giving myself a little bit better odds here of winning some kind of prize in the Powerball lottery. Okay, so maybe you heard the saying divide and conquer. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the next strategy. And this I call the individual numbers. Okay, so here's the winning numbers right here. Again, it was 27, 28, 37, 50, 57. And as I follow this plane across here, I'm going to go to the 27, and you can see that I made this square red because the 27 is red. Okay, so what I did here is I divided all 69 numbers into 7 different groups. Okay, so here's group number 1. Holds the numbers of 1 through 9. Of course, this is the only group with 9 numbers, where the other 6 have 10 numbers for 69 numbers. Okay, so what I did is this big square right here, this is good for 5 drawings. And the reason why I made it 5 drawings is so I could just count, faster, I guess. Sorry about this. So I'm going to point out the 50 numbers here. Okay, because, in my videos here, I've been saying that, hey, a green number hasn't come up in a little while here, and I think it's due to come up. Okay, so this is why I break this down into 5 drawings, so it's easier to count going 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 34 drawings since a green number has come up. Okay, so I was predicting that a green number would come up. I had the 54, 55, and the 51. And I thought it was going to be the 51, but it came up to 54. Okay, but this is how I use the game, and this is how the color code goes hand in hand with the individual numbers here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reduce this down so you can see the whole card. Okay, so what I look for is something that has been really hot. Okay, so since I broke this down into 5 drawings, I noticed that the average is 4. 4 of these hits, like right here, per 5 drawings for this certain group. Okay, so when I see something like I got this one correct for this drawing, I said I didn't think that any 10 through 19 numbers were going to come up because there was already 5 hits, and again the average is 4, so it was above average. I didn't think it was going to go 6, and it didn't, and I got that one correct. Okay, so I look at this and I try to, I look at it and say, okay, what color hasn't come up in a while for these certain groups? Okay, so, it's red, orange, green, blue, purple. So, all 5 colors are right here. That's really no big help. Okay, so here I got red, orange, green, blue, purple. Again, all the colors are right there at the top. Red, orange, green, blue, purple again. So here I don't have a orange number here. I got red, green, blue. Well, here's the orange and here's the purple. So a purple number hasn't come up in 5, 10, 15, 18 drawings now. So let's take a look at the 30 numbers on the game card. And I'm looking for purple numbers here. Okay, so I got the 34 and the 35 here in purple. Okay, so I hope that makes sense here. Let me go back to the 30s. So what I'm saying is a purple number hasn't come up in a while, so maybe it's due to come up. And I got the 34 and 35 that are purple, so I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind here. Okay, so looking at the 40s and 50s, again, red, blue, green. Don't see any orange or purple. Here's the purple, here's the orange. It's been 5, 10, 15, 20, about 26 drawings, so I'm going to check out the orange. I got the 43 and the 46. Okay, so again, I'm going to keep those numbers in the back of my mind. And then with the 50s, I got red, orange, green, purple. I don't see any blue, so here it is. So it's been 5, 10, 15, something like 18 drawings, something like that. So I'll check out the blue. I got the 52 and the 59. The last one is the 60s. Red, orange, green. I don't see. Here's the blue and purple. So it's been 5, 10, 15, 16 drawings. I got the 68 and the 62 that are in purple. Okay, so again, I'm just going to keep those in the back of my mind. Okay, the overall strategy is to take away numbers. And I know that there's 7 of these groups, and there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers, so I know that 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the one that I'm going to go with here is I'm going to go with these 10 through 19 numbers, okay? And the reason why is because per 5 drawings here, these been above average or average to above average for a long time here. So it's been 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 drawings where these 10 through 19 numbers have just been coming up like crazy. So it didn't come up here, of course, or here. So I'm going to go, since it's been so hot, I'm going to say it's going to go 3 drawings without a winning Powerball number in this group here. So I'm going to eliminate those numbers off of my game card. So again, I get rid of the 10, 11, 12, the 14 through the 17, and the 18. The 19's already gone. So I'll get rid of those. Okay, so again, if I made the correct picks here, and none of these blocked out numbers come up, then the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers still have to be left here on my game card as a highlighted number. Okay, so, if you wanted to play at home, I should have went over this a little bit earlier. If you want to draw out the game card or just write out 69 numbers, you could just X them out on the numbers that you don't think are going to come up at home. Okay, so I'm moving on to my next strategy, which is my groups. Okay, So here I call this group 4 just because I divided the 69 numbers into 4 different groups. Okay, so I'm just going to update this so I'll give you a visual. Okay, so again, the numbers were the 27, 28, so that's 2 in the blue. That means there is no numbers in the red. And then it was the 3750 in the orange, and the 57 is in the green. Okay, so it hit 3 colors. And the majority of the numbers were over here to the right side, so I'm going to keep this 3 green. If the majority of the numbers were over here to the left side, I would color this 3 red, just to give me some separation. Okay, so when I see something like this where it's been really green, you know, it's only going to be green or red, kind of like flipping a quarter. You know, how many times can it come up heads before it comes up tails? You know, so I see a streak of green. I think it's going to turn red. It finally does. Okay, so now I think it's going to turn back to green. I'm thinking that this is going to be a green number, which means I believe that the majority of the 5 numbers will be over here on this side. Okay, so the strategy is this. Try to correctly guess where this 0 is going to pop up. You know, if I could have correctly guessed that none of these red numbers are going to come up, I could have eliminated all these numbers off of my game card and gave myself a much better chance of winning some kind of prize in the Powerball lottery. Okay, so I have 7 of these option cards. Okay, and I gave myself so many option cards because, you know, it's very hard to pick a 0 here. Okay, so this is the overview of all 7 option cards. So the red areas had 4 hits and 3 zeros or misses to it. This blue area had all 7 option cards with a winning Powerball number to it. This was 6 to 1, 6 to 1. Okay, so a total of 5 zeros or 5 misses. And here's 2 of them right here. Okay, so, you know, there's usually 4 or 5 to choose from. Okay, so I got 7 option cards. I got 4 options per option card. So 4 times 7 equals 28, right? 28 options total. And out of those 28 options, 5 of them had a 0 to it. Okay, so if I could go through this and if I could just get one of these zeros correct, then that will be huge for me because I can knock out up to 17 numbers. Okay, so this is how you use my game here. So I'm going to go on to the next strategy, which is group 6. And here I divided the numbers, the 69 numbers, into 6 different groups. Okay, so the advantage is that there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So I know that one of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so I keep track of every 3 drawings, and at the 3rd drawing, I'm going to put a color to it. Okay, so you can see I have 1 number at the top, so I need 2 more numbers to put a color to it. Okay, so if it's a triple hit, if there's another hit here, another hit, I'm going to color it a dark red like this. If there's 2 hits and 1 0, I'll color it a lighter red. Again, to give me some separation. If there's 2 zeros in a hit, then I color it a light blue. If all 3 zeros, I color it a dark blue. Okay, so this is the guessing game when you have 2 numbers here. Like this, okay, it now comes down to, okay, what color is it going to be? Okay, so this is to help me pick where I think a 0 is going to be. Okay, so the next thing I have is a group 8. And the reason why I have they're all even is so I could have the majority will either be on the left side or the right side. Okay, so I know that with this group 8, I know that the odds are getting better in my favor of picking correctly because I know that there's 5 white winning Powerball numbers and 8 of these color groups. So I know that 3 of these color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. In fact, if you look over to the side here, I know that there's been fives coming up recently, but majority of the time it's a 4. Okay, so I did the math one time, it came out to like 4.2. Okay, so that means that, it's pretty even that 4 of these color groups are going to have a hit to it and 4 of these color groups are going to have a miss to it. Okay, so it's almost 50-50 odds here that you have a chance of getting it correct. Okay, so the next one I have is group 10. And I know that this is the best odds where I got 5 of these color groups. So 5 of these color groups I know will have a miss to it. Okay, so again, this is the best odds, but I only get to knock out 7 numbers. Where with this group 4, if I get this one correct, I get to knock out 17 numbers. Okay, so the reason why I did this 4, 6, 8, just to give me some different angles of looking at things, and hopefully I could pick where the 0 is going to be. Okay, so I actually have a Powerball number 2 as well, and a 3. So I'm just going to update this one real quick. Okay, so it was a 27, 28, and then the 57. So there's 3 in the orange. And then it was the 37 and the 50. So I had 1 in the blue and 1 in the green. It hit 3 out of the 4 color groups. And the majority was over here to the right side, so I'm going to keep that 3 green. Okay, so here's the strategy to try to pick where that 0 is going to be. Again, if I could have correctly guessed that none of these red numbers were going to come up, I could have eliminated up to 17 numbers here. Okay, so looking at this, you can see that, wow, it's been really green. A lot of hits over here to this right side. Then it went back to the left side. I think that this is going to be a red number right here. I think the majority of the numbers will be over here. Kind of like this blue to have a hit to it, maybe even a couple hits. Just looking at the blue numbers here. Okay, so my point is that over here with the Powerball number 1, I have 1 number at the top, which gives me kind of a clue, okay? But here with this Powerball number 2, I have 2 numbers at the top, which is where I want to be. And this is why I had 3 of these Powerball, so I could have I'll always have one with 2 numbers at the top. Okay, and that's the best advantage. Okay, so here, I'm not sure if you looked at the numbers or not, but you could try to guess where that 0 is going to be. I believe mine was my guess. I thought the 0 was going to be here in the green. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so it was the 27, 28. So I had 1 in the yellow, 1 in the purple. Then it was 37 in orange, in the 57, so there's 2 in the orange. And then the 50 was in blue. So I got that correct. I thought there was going to be no green numbers, and none of these green numbers came up. Okay, so how many color groups did it hit? 1, 2, 3, 4. The majority of the numbers over here to the left side, so I'm going to keep this 4 red. And now I'm going to put a light tint, red tint to the back, saying that the majority out of these 3 drawings were red. And now I'm going to put a light red tint to ones that had 2 hits out of 3, and now a light blue tint and a dark red tint because all 3 of them hit. Okay, so that's the way it is. Okay, so over here, this tells me how many blue marks that I have. I have one blue mark. And then how many triple hits? I had one. And how many triple zeros? I had none. Okay, so you can see that all these are all even here. I got no numbers at the top. Okay, so the next drawing I'll be putting one number at the top, and then again it will give me some kind of clue. Okay, so the biggest advantage right now is this Powerball number 2, where I have two numbers at the top, and I'm going to be putting a color to it. Okay, so these are the tools. Okay, so I try to correctly guess what color this is going to be, and then I can look over here and I can say, okay, a blue mark hasn't come up in two drawings. Maybe a blue mark is due to come up. So what's it take to be a blue mark? It takes at least two zeros. And I got two opportunities right here. And then over here I got a triple hit. Okay, usually there's a triple hit. And I got two opportunities right here for a triple hit. So it's like, okay, which one is it going to be? If anything, I think it's going to be the green one. So I think that one of these numbers in the green area will be coming up. Okay, so I'm going to move on here. Okay, so what I look for is certainly really dark red streaks. And I also look for, these numbers in tandem here. You could go down and then there's a 0, 0, 0, So when I see something that's been like a really long, then I think it's due to have a 0 to it. Okay, so over here, you can see that it's been wicked red. Most of the hits have been over here. I think that this is going to be a green number, and I'm thinking that there's going to be at least one right here in the green area. Okay, moving on. Again, the overall strategy is to pick where I think that 0 is going to be. Okay, I really don't see anything there. Moving on. Okay, so here's something. Okay, I got a light red, light red, light red. Okay, so you can see with the others how they doubled or even tripled up. This one has never done that. Okay, and it has the opportunity to do that, to double up like right here. Okay, so I think the 0 is going to be right here. So I'm going to go with this one. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all these orange numbers except for the 39, 40, 48 off of the game card. So basically I just leave the 48. And hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so I got the 52, 53, 54, and the 62 as well. So I'll get rid of the 52, 54, 62, and hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so I have 9 of these option cards. There's 4 options per option card, so that's 36 options total. And I feel if I could just get one of these correct, then I'm doing good. Okay, so I'm probably not going to pick another one. But I'll check them out just in case I really see something that sticks out. Okay, I think that this is going to be a red number. Kind of thinking this blue is going to have it. One thing I noticed is that they're just about all odd numbers, okay, except for this 2. I've seen this 9 come up a bunch of times now. Okay, so just keeping that in the back of my mind. Okay, so moving on. Thinking that this green is going to have a triple hit like this. Okay, moving on. Last one to look at. See, this has been going back and forth, back and forth. I almost think this is going to be a green number here. Okay, and the last thing I got is the overview for all 9. What I notice is all 9 option cards. I'm looking at this green that maybe all 9 of the option cards will have a hit to it. So let's just take a look at that green. Okay, again, I keep on seeing the 8, 9 come up. Okay, so we'll see what happens, but we'll see if a hit in all 9 of these green option cards will happen. Okay, so alright, so moving on. Next one I have with the advantage here with 2 numbers at the top is what I call Group 8A, where I have 3 of these option cards. And then I have an overview. So what I'm looking for in the overview is this 03. I'm looking for one that hasn't come up in a while. Like this one right here in the green area. Okay, so I'm going to look at that green. You can see that the rest of the 03s are pretty close to the top. This green one's way down here. Okay, so let's check out that. Okay, so again, I'm thinking this green is going to have a 0 to it. What I don't like is that I think that this is going to be a red number, which means I believe the majority of the numbers will be over here. So another thing I look for is how many blue marks do I usually have? And it looks like 4. So right now I got 1, 2. So maybe there's going to be 2 more blue marks, which means it could be either the red, purple, brown, or gray. with this brown, do you see the single red marks here? I'm doubled up here, but then single, single, single. Okay, maybe I'm thinking it's gonna double up here and have two red marks in a row. So I'm looking at the 7 to the 33 and the 37 to the 64. Okay, so moving on. You know, a triple zero comes up a lot. You can see there's only two zeros here. So I got the yellow and I got the orange. Okay, I'm not gonna make a pick. I'm gonna move on. This is why I gave myself so many option cards here, so I could cherry pick through these things. Kind of thinking that this is going to be a green number, which I believe that the majority of the numbers will be on this side. Kind of like this red. It's been so hot. I'm going to go for it. Okay, so when I'm marking this blue like this means that I'm taking this red, and when I come back to update it, I can look at it and say, okay, this is the one I picked. Did any of these numbers come up? If no, hey, I got it correct. If yes, then one of these numbers burned me. Okay, so I'm going to go from the 18 to the 22 and the 57 to the 60. So I'll get rid of the 20, 21, and 22. And hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, I'm just looking at something that's been really cold. Okay, so the first thing I notice is that there's a dark green here, and I haven't seen a dark green in a while, so I'm thinking that this is going to be a green number, which I believe that the majority of the numbers will be over here. Again, I got a 000 for the blue and the green. I'm going to say this 000 is going to double up like right here. You can see it's never doubled up before. So I'm going to go with this blue. Okay, the 4, 12, 22, 29, 40, 48, 58, 66. So I'll get rid of the 4 and the 48. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on. That was it. Now I'm going to go on to Group 8B, which is the same thing. I got 3 of these option cards. With an overview. Okay, so I'm looking for the 03 that hasn't come up in a while. You can see this red is leading the pack here. So you can see I highlight these or I border these that do a flip-flop. You can see the 2-1 came up, then the 1-2. Flip-flop like that, so I highlight it. And this red hasn't done it for a little while now. And it certainly hasn't had a 0-3 in a long time, so I'm going to look at that red. I think this is going to be a green number, which I believe that the majority of the numbers will be over here. Kind of liking this purple. 1, 13, 19, 29, 35, 47, 53, 64, and the 61. I still got that 1. Okay, so a 000 usually does come up. Hasn't come up in a while with the green, so I'm going to say that this is going to be a 0 right here. And I'll get rid of that 8, 14, 26, 31. And then the rest I know are gone. So I got rid of 3 more numbers, and hopefully that 8 does not come up. Or the other 2 numbers. Okay, so moving on. Okay, looking at this, I think this is going to be a red number, which I believe the majority of the numbers will be over here. So I got a 000 opportunity in the purple brown. Kind of like the purple here. I'll go for the purple. So I'll get rid of the 5, 12, 20, 34. I'll get rid of the 5 and the 34. And then the 46, 52, 54, 39, 69. So I'll get rid of the 46, and hopefully that number does not come up. Okay, so moving on. Okay, the first thing that catches my eye is how red this thing is over here. I have a feeling that this is going to be a green number, which means I believe the majority of the numbers will be on this side, the right side. And I'm kind of liking this gray to have a hit to it. So I got the 3, 12, 26, 34. I got the 3 still. And I got the 61. And that's it. Okay, so moving on. Oh, I'm sorry, I never took a pick here, so I think that this is going to be a green number. I'm going to go with this blue. It's my gut feeling. So I'll get rid of the 7, 20, 38, 57. So I'll get rid of the 7, 28, 38, 47, and hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on to 8C. Go right to the overview. Again, I'm looking for a 03 that hasn't come up in a while. You can see that they're all here except for this blue, which is way down here. I'm going to go for this blue one right here. Hopefully it will have the 000. Oh, that gets rid of that 9. Oh, I already got rid of the 9. Okay. Get rid of that 25. And that's it. Okay, so moving on. See how red this is over here? I think this is going to be a green number, so I'll go with this blue again. 23 to the 26 and the 52 to the 56. So I get rid of the 23, 32, 33, 56, 63, 64. So I get rid of 6 numbers, and hopefully I made the correct picks here. Okay, so moving on. Kind of like this number to be green, so I'm going to go with this blue again. $18, $19, $27, $28, $29. Get rid of the 27. And then $60, $67, $68, $69. Of course, those are all gone. Okay, so I'm getting down there. I got 3, 5, down to 9 numbers. Okay, so the reason why I believe in this game so much is one time, a couple years ago, I reduced the numbers down to 10 numbers, and the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers landed within those 10 numbers. I only got 2 numbers correct that day, but I looked at it and said, wow, I gave myself a really good chance of winning a really good prize. So that's the thing. I'd rather pick from 10 numbers than 69 numbers, you know. So again, I got 9 numbers left. I'm moving on to my group 10. Again, this is my best odds. There's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. There's 10 of these color groups. I know that 5 of these color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so let's go right to the overview. I only have 3 of these option cards, so I'm looking for a 03 that hasn't come up in a while. Okay, I see it in the yellow. Okay, so all the other ones pretty close to the top. Then this yellow's way down here. Okay, another one that I like here is this 03 hasn't doubled up like right here. You can see all the singles. And I think it's going to double up. So I like the orange and the yellow, so we'll check them out. Now 000 usually comes up. You don't see any zeros here at all. Okay, so the orange has a 000 opportunity. Same with the brown and the red. Okay, so I kind of like this brown. The orange. So I'll get rid of the 22, 29, 30. And the 61. Okay, so I'm down to 3, 6, 7. I need to get rid of 2 more. Kind of like I have a hit here with this green. I got the 313. Do I still have that 3? I do. Starting to really like that 3. Okay, but I'm looking at the orange. 816. There's no 24. That's the only one that. Oh, I got the 6. No, those 2 are safe. Okay, so I got nothing to get rid of. And here, I'll get rid of that 24. Okay, so I'm down to 6 numbers. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the original with my group 10 here. Okay, now I got at least one number at the top, so I'm going to go right to the overview. Look for a 03 that hasn't come up in a while. Well, they're all pretty close. Well, again, a 03 comes up a lot. So I'm going to look for a color that has a 0 to it. And now I'm going to look for one that has a 03 that hasn't come up in a long time. And it looks like it's going to be this pink. I still have the 35. Okay, so I'm going to go with that pink one. See, the 03 hasn't come up in a long time, so hopefully it's due, and I'm going to get rid of that 35, and that will bring me down to 5 numbers. Okay, so I'm just going to look at the rest of these things for a second. Okay, so going back. Okay, these are the numbers I'm going to go with. The 1, 3, 6, 37, 45. I got to pick a Powerball number. Okay, so there's 26 numbers to the Powerballs. Okay, the red numbers. So over here, I just divided the numbers into 2. So if you see a blue number, that's low, 1 to 13. Red is high, 14 to 26. Over here, I just divided the numbers into odds and evens. So if you see a red number, that's odds. Black number, that's evens. So you can see a low number has been coming up a lot. So I think this next one is going to be high, between 14 and 26. Over here, I have a feeling it's going to be an odd number. Okay, so the two oldest high odd numbers are the 19 and 21. Okay, so for me, I guess I'm going to go with the I guess I'll go with the 19. Okay, so again, the numbers I'm going to go with are the 1, 3, 6, 37, 45, and the Powerball 19. Okay, so like Sherlock Holmes would say, it's a matter of deduction. So if, and the big word here is if, these blocked out numbers don't come up, then these 5 highlighted numbers have to come up. Okay, so let's take a look at the odds. The odds of getting the grand prize, all 5 white ball numbers and the red ball, and again the grand prize is 112 million. The odds of winning that are 1 in 292 million. Okay, my game is more or less geared up for the 5 white ball numbers. Okay, that was my goal. I love to win the grand prize, of course. Okay, but just to get the 5 white ball numbers correct is 1 in 11,688,000. Okay, so in other words, you can make nearly 12 million 5-number combinations out of 69 numbers. Okay, so I don't want to give any kind of illusions that this is going to be easy to win. So another great prize to win would be 4 white ball numbers and the red ball. That pays 50,000 plus the power play if you play it. And you can see that the odds are just about 1 in a million. Okay, so I like to play responsibly. Okay, so for a budget, if I spend $3 per drawing, there's 3 drawings per week. There's 52 drawings per year. Okay, so with all that, I would spend $468 per year playing my game Decoding the Powerball. Okay, and in closing, I'd just like to thank you for watching. Again, you can support my page through patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. And if you'd like to give me any feedback, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Again, there's no "the" in there, so it's just decodingpowerball@gmail.com. And as always, with $112 million on the line, I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.